Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now this is a game that literally launched a couple days back in 2025, and well, this should be something quite interesting because this is a game released by Deep Silver. If you know what these guys done, you're probably going to be impressed. And also this game is running in CryEngine, so visual fidelity is something to behold of. Now let's talk about the requirements before we jump into the settings we're going to be using. The minimum CPU for this game is supposedly Intel Core i5 84000 or AMD Ryzen 5 2600. You need at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, and minimum GPU is a GTX 1060. Recommended CPU is Intel Core i7 13th gen or AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. No surprises there. Recommended GPU NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 and at least 32 gigs of RAM. Now, here's the thing. If you ever played Kingdom Come Deliverance, you know that the previous part, which is the original Kingdom Come, was pretty heavily CPU bound rather than GPU bound. So mostly the CPU had to take on a lot of tasks, and specifically when going into the towns and dealing with NPCs, pretty much every town visit would kind of tank your frames. Now for the second part, the devs have actually put in a very big effort to kind of allocate resources evenly, giving a fighting chance for those who don't have the top tier CPU. Even though when you max the game out, obviously Ryzen 7 7800X3D will probably power through this with no issues. I mean, that is a great CPU to begin with. So let's look at the settings we're going with. For the graphics, we're going 2K native resolution, full screen. Overall image quality on ultra, no vertical sync. Frame rate limit is apparently somehow tied to your screen refresh rate, which in my case is 144. I highly doubt we're gonna see this number anyway, but well, we're just gonna wait and see. Horizontal FOV is slightly cranked to 100%. You do start with 90, so it's a pretty good start. Resolution scaling, we're not going to be using any DLSS or FSR. Mode is native anti-aliasing, and no motion blur or depth of field. For advanced, we're going with ultra preset straight off the bat. Anti-aliasing for SMA times 2TX could be an overkill. Then again, based that this is CryEngine and SMA 2, you know, it's technically not that bad. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. Technically, I would say I would turn it down for myself, but this is the preset for ultra. So let's start the new game. MSI is left hand side. We are running i9 99K 47 Ti, and we do have 32 gigs of RAM, so this is going to be a good one. So let's start the new game and see what we actually get, because honestly, considering we are kind of hovering in between the minimum and recommended, we should be getting relatively good performance, but as you know, mileage will and probably can vary. So this is going to be something interesting anyway. Specifically, if you have DLSS support, technically you're in the ballpark, and even if you don't have the best GPU, you can still use FSR. So it's not that bad. And wow, we're getting 20 frames. This is a PowerPoint slideshow. Look at the CPU usage. Everything's maxed out. Oh wow, okay. Let's see how this goes.
This onslaught much longer. Go and take cover with the others. Look out! Godwin! Where's your weapon? To the battlements, move!
Father! Will you come to anoint us before we die?
We'll get anointed after the battles are hands. With booze. Get ready! Take cover!
A rude awakening, eh? Make it count.
Right, I have a feeling a real game is about to start, so let's see what we get. Well, it's either gonna go well or it's gonna go bad. I still have faith in CryEngine because, well... Well, look at this! Well, paint me impressed! 6.8 gigs of video memory taken, 11 gigs of RAM, and we're above 60 frames on ultra settings. I got to say, they definitely pulled a number on these games. Straight off the bat, you can actually have 60 frames. Okay. Right, we need to go up and help them on a... Right, the problem is... I think we need to reload and rain from above. Yeah, went a little bit high there. Okay, fair enough. Oh, look at the performance! The devs absolutely pulled the rabbit out of the hat here. Oh, I shot the gate. Okay, never mind. We're good. If we could burn them, that'd be kinda nice. Oh, look at this. Wasn't my doing. I was just hoping for the best, and the boys actually listened.
This slows them down. Draw your sword and follow me. That's it.
The Commander Dry Devil. We shall be victorious. I mean, look at the very simplified reflections and everything. I mean, we're still at like 80 frames minimum. Like, this is a game, obviously the frame rate will not be consistent. It is how it is, but... End of the day... Who's attacking me from behind? Oh, this dude. Need to block it. I should have played the first Kingdom Come so I actually remember how the combat works. Get you, Scallywag. Hit them. I'm out of stamina. Very well. Get off my ladder. I mean, pushing off the ladder would be a little bit more effective, I would want to say, but hey. It is how it is. I cannot complain. Knock down the ladder, there we go. Goodbye. Sorry for the trouble, lads. And the cutscenes are limited to 30 frames. Hey, that's not too bad. Giving the GPU well-deserved rest here.
Just calm down.
Oh, Dentes Fortuna, fucking you, vat. Jesus. You're only supposed to deliver a message to Trosky. The most adventure I was expecting was a fuck or two.
I mean, the fact itself that this old CPU is still holding its own, it's not too bad. And we're nowhere near the recommended RAM limit, so we're actually never really past even 15 or 20 gigs of RAM. GPU was utilized relatively consistently. Obviously there is a little bit of a bottleneck there, but then again we are in 2K, but when you look at 80 frames in 2K playing on ultra demanding game like Kingdom Come, I mean, there's very little to be desired of, because, you know, in this game frames does not exactly matter. Like, it's always better to have above 60 if you could get it, but in comparison to the first game where CPU bound people were just very out of luck, so to say, it was yeah, this is a fresh of breath air.
Anyway, this Aldens, whatever. What does that actually mean?
Audentes Fortuna Juvat. Fortune favors the brave.
I don't doubt it. All we have to do is deliver a letter to Lord Otto von Berghoff and ride back again. Doesn't take much bravery.
Christ, Henry, don't be such a stick in the mud. Aren't you glad to be finally out of that hellhole where we can finally enjoy some adventure? See a bit of the world, meet new women, and simply have some fun.
Sure, but you promised Johannes that you'd be as good as gold, and I'm personally responsible for your safety. Besides, Trosky's in the middle of nowhere, so I wouldn't expect much excitement there.
God help me, my bodyguard's a monk! who can't speak Latin.
Sir. Trosky.
My word. That is fucking impressive. It makes Perkstein look like an outhouse. Berghoff must be made of money.
Okay, let's see how the fields and forests and everything else looks for us.
Well, Henry, looking forward to new adventures?
It looks pretty well. Look at us. 75 frames.
Of course I am. We'll show them what fine fellas have turned up on their doorstep.
You bet we will. We'll hand over our important message and then hop, skip to the nearest tavern. We'll drink to our success and chase some local wenches, eh? But why didn't Uncle Hanush take care of it himself? Unless, maybe he's just testing me.
Why? He must trust you not to botch it up. Otherwise, he wouldn't send you as his envoy.
Of course. How could I possibly botch it up? There are foreign armies rampaging through Bohemia.
Okay, granted, the game does not look as good as Crysis, all things considered. I'm talking about Crysis 2 and 3, not the OG from 2007, but at the same time, there's enough graphical fidelity to kind of let you immerse yourself into the place, because the models and everything else is actually pretty nice. I can't say the physics are something much to talk about, but then again, CryEngine does have its limitations when it comes to physics. So if all the trees were moving in wind, we would take a performance hit. Even though CryEngine has come a very far way from where it started, it's more bound to graphical / performance than graphical fidelity over brute force. So honestly, it doesn't look that bad. Now you can see that there is a little bit of shimmering outlines, even though we don't have DLSS. So maybe anti-aliasing slightly cranked up could help, or you might even refer to FSR or DLSS just to get this little tiny blur off. Even though I wouldn't say that, you know, it's something you should be looking forward to, because then again, you're not exactly be spending your times looking at the trees all the time, so it's just one of those things, really.
Besides, stand a chance against them. Don't do anything foolish, fellas. Just follow my orders.
And even with all this, to be fair, having this performance in a day one, I mean day one of me getting the game, that's a different thing altogether. I can just imagine what's gonna happen with some performance improvement patch, because there will be one, and probably Nvidia will release a driver for it as well.
How you greet visitors, my good man?
This is how we greet armed strangers when bandits are pillaging everywhere.
Can you not distinguish between a noble and a bandit, sir?
It's not always that straightforward these days. Who are you people?
Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. I bear a letter for Sir Otto von Berghoff from my master, Sir Hanush of Leipa.
This is indeed the seal of the Lords of Leipa. And unless I am mistaken, Lord Hanush of Leipa is on the side of King Wenceslas. While my master is a member of the League of Lords, who side with King Sigismund. So it would appear we are enemies.
We're not enemies. We're carrying a message with the aim of putting a stop to the hostilities.
And who are you?
Henry. From Skalitz.
Yeah. What's your playstyle?
I served
Stealth.
Sir Hans as a scout and tracker.
From Skalitz, you say? The one that King Sigismund's Cuman forces plundered?
And slaughtered everyone. Even so, I'm not going to Trosky as an enemy, but as a peace envoy.
Even so, you're still strangers here, and armed strangers to boot. And as it happens, we're on the trail of just such a band, so why should I trust you?
Persuasion. Okay, fair enough. So, generic. Let's help them with the bandits.
An alliance. We'll come to an agreement with your lord in Trosky, and maybe offer to deal with those bandits for you. After all, you haven't been able to track them down, so we can take matters into our own hands. So move aside, and let us, dutiful knights, pass.
Don't provoke me, boy, or you'll pass to a place you don't want to be. Didn't you say you were a tracker? So you're a knight all of a sudden? Or you're not really sure? Don't try to pull the wool over my eyes.
Don't listen to him, Captain. He's traveling with me for the first time, and evidently, he's got a bit above himself. We've come on the orders of Margrave Jobst of Moravia, and we bear a message from Sir Hanush of Lipa, Divish of Tarnberg, and Radzig Kobula. Our message concerns the offer of an alliance that it seems you need as much as we do right now.
All right then. You may carry on, but put your men in their place, sir, before their impertinence leads you into trouble.
Indeed I will. Thank you, Captain.
Sorry about the cold reception. You must be cautious. These bandits create mayhem then vanish like ghosts. We'll be on our way.
Oh, so you won't accompany us to the castle to see your lord?
Sorry, sir, we can't. Listen, you won't make it to the castle before nightfall. Sir Otto's orders are to not admit anyone after dark, especially while we're away. You'd best camp until daybreak.
I'll take your point. I mean, back home, the last time someone led a nobleman in trouble into their castle, we had to bombard it to get him out. Is there an inn in these parts, at least?
There is one, but it's a bit of a way out, and I'm not sure your lordship would like it very much.
God! What kind of a backwater have they sent us to? I just suppose we'll just have to manage somehow. Good luck in hunting down those bandits.
Thomas, Captain at Trosky. Thank you. And sorry again. Farewell.
Farewell.
Well, this is a bit of a hold-up. What now?
Since there's no tavern within reach, we'll just bed down here for the night. The pond looks inviting, and we've got wine enough.
And what about those bandits?
Well, they're probably keeping their heads down, what with that big patrol combing the woods for them.
Come on, fellas. We'll camp here on the bank.
Right. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the story for you guys because this is pretty much like the intro of the game where you will have to do certain things and you will end up having certain things done after you've done things. So, you know, without me spoiling stuff, I think this is as good as any place to end this. And I think actually you should have seen enough. Look at the performance. The performance does not lie. The numbers are happy. We are pulling now 10 gigs of video memory. 11, not even 12 gigs of RAM, so all in all, no upscalers, ultra settings. Hey, this is playable. This is way more playable than certain games out there. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Over and out.